Hi there, welcome to Mesh AI. Whether you're a brand new admin or you're taking over an existing team, I'm here to walk you through the system a little bit more so you have a better idea of what's in store for you once you start creating your schedules. My name's Leanna, and I'll be your guide through this demo. Before we start creating our schedules, we're going to want to configure our templates and members sections. Note that if you're a new admin, a member of our team has most likely already set this information up for you. However, if you need to make any changes, this is where we'll be doing it. To start off, you can see here in the templates section we have on the right our jobs and on the left our template. To add a new job, we'll click the plus button here. You'll see a few fields that we'll have to fill out. First of all, the title of the job. Second of all, we're going to add a color. I'm just going to choose this light green color. Note that I have automatically selected the Only Members I Designate button. That just means that only members who are qualified can do this job. I'm going to set the shifts so that they have to be assigned at all times, meaning the auto scheduler will always fill them no matter what. You can also set shifts so they can be left empty if no one is able to do the job at that time. So we'll hit create, and now you can see our job is showing up here on the right. The shift we have just added is a Friday call shift. I want this to occur only on Fridays, so we'll go ahead and configure that in our template. We'll start by adding a new shift definition by clicking this button. Here, in the fields we see, we'll first want to fill out the job, which in this case is Friday call. We're going to set it to all day, but note that you can also set shifts to occur at specific times. Because the shift only occurs on Friday, we're going to set the occurrence to every week, and then we'll say that we just want that to occur on Friday by checking the Friday box. We also know that this shift does not occur on holidays, so I'm going to go ahead and check the box to exclude holidays. Now our template is set up, but note that you can come back and edit any of the shifts in your template or the job definitions at any time. Now let's take a look at the members section. Here you'll see your listed members and all their job qualifications. You can also see members who aren't scheduled. In this case, me as an admin, I'm not a schedulable member. You can also see what we call members' tours of duty. These are the time periods in which members have specific qualifications. To add a new member, we'll hit the Add New Member button here in the right corner. I'll start by giving this doctor a name. We'll call them Dr. Carr. They're not an administrator of this team, so I'll go ahead and leave that box empty. Next, we need to handle Dr. Carr's qualifications. We do this with tours of duty. I'm going to create a new tour for Dr. Carr that has no start date and no end date. This means that Dr. Carr will have the same qualifications for as long as they are a part of this team. We can set Dr. Carr's qualifications by checking the boxes listed beside each job type right here. Now we can hit Add Member and Dr. Carr will be added to the system. Now let's try adding a different type of member. In this case, Dr. Doe is a locum, meaning that they will only be working for a certain period of time and their qualifications will only be active for that time period. We can do this by adding a new tour of duty and specifying the date range in which Dr. Doe will be available to work. During that date range, we will give them a specific set of qualifications that will apply to that time, but no other time. Once you've added a new member, if you want to invite them to the system, you can hit this invite button under their name and type in their email. Now that we've configured our templates, jobs, and members, we're ready to move to actually creating our schedule. Now let's head back to our team calendar to start creating our schedules with just a few simple clicks. You can see on the left here we have a few draft schedules on the go. Draft schedules are only visible to admins and are where you make edits before publishing schedules for all members to see. To create a new draft, start by pressing the plus button in the right corner of this window. You can enter a custom date range for as short or as long as you want, but in this case we'll just stick to the default of 1 month. We can select the template we just worked on, give our schedule a name, and we're ready to go. Here's where we see that template in action. You'll notice that all the shifts in the template currently listed in this schedule are empty. This is because we haven't filled them yet. That is where the auto scheduler comes into play. In this case, we aren't going to fill any shifts manually before we run the auto scheduler, but note that you do have the capacity to do this. If you assign shifts before the autoscheduler is run, the autoscheduler will just work around those shifts and will not slot anyone into them, as you have already filled them yourself. To autoschedule your shifts, press the Autoschedule button seen here on the left-hand bar. Once you do, you'll see an estimated time given to you. This is how long it will take the autoscheduler to run. This time is based on the number of shifts, the number of members, and the complexity of your schedule. The autoscheduler chooses members for shifts based on the customized rule set you have provided to us. For every shift, it will consider things like fairness, equalization, requests, and any other custom rules your team might need. Once we hit Auto Schedule Now, this schedule will be locked while the autoscheduler runs. You are free to use the system while the autoscheduler is running. Just note you won't be able to make edits to this particular schedule. We'll come back once the autoscheduler is finished. Once the autoscheduler is finished, we will receive a notification that it is complete. Clicking on this notification will take us directly to the schedule we just built. Now we can see that all the shifts have been populated by the autoscheduler. If we want to check the equality of these shifts, we can head to the Analytics tab, and here we'll see by default the number of shifts each member has. Note you can also apply filters with the Graph Options tab. While there is also a Reports section in the Mesh AI system, this analytics view of your schedule is a quick way to see how fair the shifts have been distributed. Now let's say we want to make a change in the schedule we see here. To do this, we're going to find the shift that we want to change. Let's say we want to replace Dr. Doe on this January 11th shift. Here's where you see all the listed members who are available to do this shift. Mesh AI uses a recommendation engine to tell you who is the best person for the shift every time. In this case, Dr. Doe is the best person, seen by the blue thumbs up. But we can also see the other choices with the second, third, and fourth text, followed by the yellow thumbs down, which means you can schedule a person for the shift, but it's probably not a good idea based on the fairness and equality rules you have in place. In addition, you can see the red exclamation mark icon. This means a member is not qualified to do the shift. It either means they might not have the qualifications in place, they might have a vacation request, or scheduling them into the shift will break one of the rules that you have in place. The system will always tell you which rule is being broken when a member is not qualified to do a shift. Now we can choose the member we wish to replace Dr. Doe with. Let's choose Dr. Hassan for this shift. We can do this by simply clicking Dr. Hassan's name in the list on the left, and we'll see that they are automatically updated in the schedule. For this schedule, I've also added some clustered shifts to the template. You can see that every weekend shift has the same person working both Saturday and Sunday as indicated by the link icon beside the shift. Clustering means that the same person is assigned to every shift within a cluster. To remove a shift from the cluster, press the Edit button beside it and hit Remove from Cluster. Once you update it, changing one member will not affect changing the other as it normally would in the cluster. Now that we've made the changes we want, we can check the analytics one last time before publishing the schedule. Here we can see that Dr. Alberts now has fewer shifts, and this is because we assigned their weekend shifts to someone else. If we're happy with this, we're ready to go ahead and publish. To publish your schedule, press the Publish button at the bottom of the left-hand bar. You'll get the options to publish silently or to publish and notify. If you publish and notify, every member in your team will get a notification that new shifts have been published in their team. Even though our schedule has been published and is now visible to all members, we are still able to make changes the same way we did in the draft schedule. If we click on this shift here, we'll see that same recommendation engine in action, and we can still pick the best person for the shift. However, if you make a change to a shift that has already been published, the person who is assigned to that shift will be notified that there has been a change made. The last thing we'll look at is making requests and adding shifts to the bazaar. When a member wants to add their shift to a bazaar to trade it with another member, they simply click on it and hit Make Deal. Once you select Make Deal, you'll be prompted with a pop-up menu with the option to offer the shift directly to someone if you want. You'll see that same recommendation engine in action here, and you can see who the best person to offer your shift to is. You can also leave a note if needed. In this case, we'll just offer the shift to anyone with no note. You can access as an admin the current deals that are active by going to the Current Deals tab. As a user, you would access the current deals by going to your Shift Bazaar. Now let's go over how to make requests. As a MeshAI admin, you have the ability to make requests on behalf of your members, but note that they can also make their own requests. At the top, we have the Shifts and Requests tab to show these separately, but you can also show them in the same place in your calendar if that's what you prefer. To start a new request, drag your mouse over the date or date range you want to make the request for. Let's make a request for the second week of February. In the menu, we'll hit Add a New Member Request, and we'll see a pop-up for a new request. We can toggle the date and time, select a member, we'll select Dr. Carr, and we'll choose the request type as vacation. Note that these are the default options for request types, but as part of MeshAI's customization service, you can have your own language and customize request types as well. We'll also set that the request is approved since we are the ones making it. However, you can also set that requests are pending approval by default, meaning that any member who makes a request will need to wait for you to approve it before it actually shows up in the calendar and is considered by the auto scheduler. Hopefully you now feel ready to start creating your schedule in the MeshAI system. We have gone over setting up your templates and jobs, adding and editing members, creating and auto-scheduling draft schedules, making schedule edits, lifting shifts in the bazaar for trading, and making member requests. As always, our support team is here for you to help you whenever you need us. To chat with one of our product experts, click the blue icon in the bottom right corner of your screen. You can ask your questions to us directly or browse our help articles and find your answer there. Thank you for choosing MeshAI, and happy scheduling.